Maria war in der Tat sehr offen.
Maria was very open and very profound. I often repeat that it was almost overwhelming. We felt we were faced with a person who completely faces up to what she is going through and for whom the experience becomes something of an all-encompassing commitment.
Und für die dieses Erlebnis praktisch eine Lebensverpflichtung ist.
After the psychological tests came the experimental part on the visionary. Dr. Gagliardi first put Maria under hypnosis. Through direct key words, he asked her to re-experience the first apparition. The Virgin Mary is now appearing to you, suggested Dr. Gagliardi. You will soon be able to see her face as you have seen it so often. She was hypnotized for 28 minutes.
Ecco, spiegando lo stato ipnotico in cui è entrata Maria.
Under hypnosis, Maria's breathing has become completely
regolare. L'attività elettrica della pelle.
Skin electrical activity is very low, and the keywords inducing emotionalization provoke a reaction in face.
Parole che evocano determinate emozioni, abbiamo delle risposte che si chiamano risposte fasiche. Man mano che vediamo
cardiac activity is normal and the capillary extension is considerable because the person is very
perché la frequenza cardiaca è bassa, il tono vascolare è molto dilatato perché il soggetto è molto
As we progress, we suggest the end of the rosary prayer. We can then clearly see that Maria has a very low skin electrical activity.
La visione che ha avuto e la rievocazione della visione è in questo punto. Noi vediamo che Maria ha
cardiac frequency and pressing, however, remains the same.
Elettrodermiche. La respirazione non cambia e non cambia neanche la frequenza, cioè resta in uno stato di quasi di passività.
The aim of hypnosis was to determine whether or not the apparition, linked with the ecstasy, can be provoked by suggestion and therefore dismissed as self-suggestion and imagination. This would have led to labeling the visionaries as simulators. However, if the ecstasy cannot be provoked by hypnosis, then the apparition, the ecstasy, cannot be passed off anosis, self-suggestion, or imagination. To learn more, we went to visit Dr. Mario Cigada, a specialist on hypnosis, at his office in Milan. During ecstasy, the sympathetic nervous system was active and heart activity went up to 135 beats. Under hypnosis, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is characterized by relaxation, was active. The heart rate slowed to 70 beats per minute.
Allora, i risultati della ricerca che abbiamo fatto a Cappiago Intimiano nel 98 su Ivan e Maria.
These are the results of the research made in 1998 on Maria and Ivan. The difference between hypnosis and ecstasy, which we demonstrated, have been exposed. The first observation is, for both Maria and Ivan, at the first stage of ecstasy, cardiac frequency is rapidly altered. You can see it here. The heart frequency is a high level, heartbeat increases significantly. At first, breathing does not show significant alterations. Looking at the recordings closer, we discover interesting details. This is Maria's recording, but it is the same for Ivan. This graph is related to the heart activity. At this point, there is a high peak. What does it mean? We can see on the graph our vegetative nervous system is split in parts.
In questo grafico, che è quello relativo al cuore, c'è un picco molto alto, molto evidente.
Here one is brown, the other is green. The brown part shows the sympathetic system and the green part shows the parasympathetic system. In this area, Maria shows a strong activity during ecstasy, tells us the sympathetic system is more active. This is particularly obvious here.
È diviso in parti che qui sono rappresentate, una in marrone,
At the time when Maria is hypnotized, where we suggest that she recall previous ecstasies, the graph shows the highest peak of activity in a totally different place. This demonstrates that when Maria is hypnotized, the green area of the nervous system remains autonomous.
Questo è molto evidente. La cosa veramente interessante è che nel momento in Maria
That means that the parasympathetic system is more active.
Di rievocare precedenti estasi, come può vedere emerge un picco in una posizione completamente diversa.
This shows that there is a radical difference between a state of hypnosis and ecstasy.
Era la parte che qui è rappresentata in verde, cioè il parasimpatico, e questo presenta una differenza radicale tra lo stato di ipnosi e lo stato di estasi.
Members of the team have taken part at various stages in order to conduct their research program on the visionaries, using as many as 42 different tests. Electrodes have been set up to measure breathing rate, skin reactions, heart frequency, and capillary dilation and constriction. Ocular reaction is also being measured. Maria is now entering the ecstatic state. Using a lamp, Dr. Chigada examines the reaction in her pupils. Blinking of the eyelids has ceased. Even when her pupil is touched directly, her eyes show only a very slight reaction of the eyelids. At such times, Marija Pavlović is probably in a completely different world, receiving messages from the Gospina, as the Virgin Mary is known in Bosnia-Herzegovina. The researchers have a fascinating time up to the moment when Maria's state of ecstasy ends. She seems exhausted. Her husband, Paolo, and once have come from Capiago to give her their support. Later, we met her in her home in Medjugorje to ask her the significance of the messages and to learn about her daily life.